Well, we've already looking at my 5 best movies of the year so far. Let's look at the ones that just make me want to impale myself. These are my 5 worst movies of the year so far. Number 5, Touchback. I really feel bad for Kurt Russell. I mean, this was one of the most generic sports movies I have ever seen. Not to mention that, it wasn't interesting. The characters weren't interesting. I mean, really, all it was just them playing off every sports cliche, and this pacing was awful in this movie. The acting's pretty solid, I'll give it that. I mean, Kurt Russell does a very good job. He's the highest high followed by the lowest low of this movie. Because Kurt Russell's in it, that's awesome, but he's in a generic sports movie. Kurt Russell, I suggest fire your agent because you have done good sports movies before. Number 4. At number 4, we have Mirror, Mirror. Now, I actually liked this movie the first time coming out. I thought it was charming, but really, the more I think about it, the more annoying it gets. I mean, just the more I think over all the jokes, they just get more annoying. And yeah, I was charmed during parts in this, but it was also very kiddish. And I understand it's not made for me, but then again, I have to be critical. So in the end, the acting was it was over the top acting, followed by an over the top story. Honestly, I'm not even that big of a fan of Snow White and the Huntsman, but if I had to say to see this or Mirror, that or Mirror, Mirror, go see Snow White and the Huntsman, because this might have a hot chick playing Snow White, and that might have Kristen Stewart, but at least you'll be getting your money's worth. Number 3, John Carter. Where do I begin? This film is awful. I mean, just plain awful. I mean, the characters are awful. That's the biggest low. The characters are just horrendous. That's the word I was looking for. John Carter's a jerk face. I don't want to root for him. I hate him. And another thing is that every character is pretty much a jerk face at a point in time. Why should I root for you guys? You know what, bad aliens? Kill them. Kill them now. You will be doing the world a favor. I digress. Not to mention Taylor Kitsch, man, he needs a range. Get an acting coach, kid. You are awful. Now I actually liked the ending coming out of it the first time, but now I think, wait, that was just pandering for them to make a sequel. We don't need one of those. It was a box office flop. So that's why it gets my number 3 spot. But there were two films that I thought were just a little bit worse. Number 2, Chronicle. Now, this is my opinion. I know a lot of people liked it, but the reason I thought it was so bad is, first of all, the characters were generic except for one. The acting was solid, I'll give it that. And the special effects were really bad. And before you say, oh, they're a small budget, I wanted them to use practical effects, not bad CGI. I mean, and not to mention, I was very excited. It was my 6th favorite film, not favorite, most anticipated film of the year, and yeah, so I was very disappointed. I think that's why I hated it so much. I mean, it was boring at parts, the flying was bad. I can give it up for that, though. But, I mean, why did they have to CG it? Could they have made it practical? Not to mention, the characters are winos at times. Honestly, in the end, it's very brutal, kind of. But, like, it shouldn't be brutal. I wish that they would have skipped the whole Anakin storyline and just made them messing around with powers. That would have been fun. So, number 2. Sorry for all you Chronicle fans, it is my opinion. But number 1, the worst film of the year so far, ATM, otherwise known as the Invasion of the Plot Holes. I mean, there are so many plot holes in this movie, I cannot keep count. I am never going to see this movie again, never watch this movie. This film is awful, the acting is awful. Josh Peck is the best actor, but even he only does a mediocre job. And I mean, the characters are mean, they're brutal, but you're supposed to be rooting for them to survive? No, Carol, you might have a stupid resolution in the story, but kill them. Kill them. go in there and beat them down. I want them to die. Not to mention the story is tired, its pacing's really bad, I got bored a lot. And in the end, this film was just awful. If I had to pick between being impaled and watching this again, I'd probably pick watching this again, but just by like an inch. So in the end, that is my least favorite film of the year so far, and that is concluding my halfway mark. Goodbye.